Park, niggas know me. Curtbone, little homie. All days, yeah. Man, the road, yeah.
Man, what's up, man? Bry Dee, man. Here out LA kicking it with you, man. I know LA, you know you Compton, you know what I'm saying?
Compton made, baby.
Yeah, I learned that recently, man, the difference between LA and Compton, man. But before we get into that, man, give the people a little background who you is. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, man.
Man, I got 3 names. I'm OG Bry Dee, host of Realness, which is my YouTube channel. I'm also part of Compton Radio, which is a Clubhouse channel. I'm Bones Low to a lot of dudes in the feds. And I'm OG Bry Dog 1 from Carver Park.
Okay.
Compton Crip, which is the Willowbrook section. You know, I don't advocate gang violence or what have not, yet I am who I am and what I am.
Okay. And for those who don't know you, man, what set you represent and how you get a part of that set?
I'm from Carver Park, Compton Crip. I'm a 2nd generation Crip from when it first originally started. I went to school my father went to, my sons went to school I went to, so I'm a product of my environment.
Oh yeah. So how was you initiated again? You gave some initiation, or you was, you know, how that worked out?
Well, you know, my family had been in there before it was Carver Park over there. It was a city, it was a section called Palm Lanes in the Willowbrook section.
Okay.
And my father led my high school to 3 CIF championships. So
athlete.
My family was instilled in that area. Mm-hmm. So when we came about, meaning, you know, my generation and my siblings and my cousins, it was basically like, we from the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. There's no disputing it. Right. You know, it was the generations after me or the guys that came in later who moved to the neighborhood when they were 15, 16, 17, they got initiated. Right. But for the most part, my generation, it was a given. You dudes out here in the streets, you from the set.
Right. And for people who don't know, explain what's initiation, what that look like?
You'd have 2, 3 dudes jump on you for 1:18 seconds for the set, because we're 118th Street. And we handle your business with them. Win, lose, or draw, it don't matter as long as you fight back.
So anything go. If you're on the ground, they stomping you and everything?
No, you can't put feet on the homies. That's in violation.
Okay.
You can never put feet on the homies.
Right, okay. So, like, it seems like y'all really live by a serious bylaw. Is they written bylaws, or they just understood from the teachings?
What it is a lot of people don't understand about Los Angeles County. It's a way of life. Mm-hmm. Just like low riding on the West Coast is a way of life. Mm-hmm. Gang activity is a way of life. 90% of the dudes that come from out of town, like if I introduce you to someone, mm-hmm. I would say, okay, I'll just roll call some names of people I know. This gangster, he from Santana. Mm-hmm. He's from Santana Block, Compton, Crip. Mm-hmm. I would say, this is Dice, he from Harlem 30s. This infant Dice from Harlem 30s. Mm-hmm. I would say, this is my homeboy Lil Bop, he from Carver Park. Mm-hmm. The reason we say that on the West Coast is so if you don't have an affiliation, you have an association now with I know such and such. Mm-hmm. And we letting you know what section he's from. If you are affiliated, so you don't start dissing his neighborhood or speaking on something that you shouldn't speak on, that sometimes people are sleepers. Mm-hmm. Like it's been times in my life where I just listen to dudes and I say, oh, by the way, homie, I'm Bry Dog from Carver. And now it's get quieter crickets, as they say.
Right.
Because I let you run your mouth about my neighborhood.
Right.
So it's a form of respect when you're introducing somebody. So in Los Angeles County, literally everybody says where that guy is from. Mm-hmm. Like you can even throw that guy Big U out there. Mm-hmm. Everybody would say that's Big U from Rolling 60s. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Rolling 60s and Big U are synonymous with each other, the name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah. I hear that, and that's actually how I pay attention to the name Rolling 60s because of that, because that's how they quote that. But let me ask you this. So what about, how did the blue and red, how did they come about? I know red is blood, so how did the blue, well, I'm assuming the color blood, but how did the red and blue come about with the name?
It was a guy named Buddha, mm-hmm. from what I understand. Mm-hmm. And he was Tookie's, Big Tookie, West Side Crip. Mm-hmm. You know, the saying goes, from the East came the West, followed mm-hmm. the rest. Right. What that means is Raymond Washington, he started cripping on the east side of Los Angeles County. Right. And it went to the west side, and Tookie became the face of cripping. All right, so that came the west side. Then followed by the rest is Watts, Compton, and parts near. Mm. So Buddha was real tight with Tookie, and he always wore blue bandanas. That was just something with him. He wore blue bandanas. Mm-hmm. And so when he was killed, Tookie and them started paying homage to him and wearing blue bandanas. Mm-hmm. And so it became a symbol of Crips. And thus blood is what? Red.
Right.
And so since they were in opposition of Crips, they started wearing red bandanas.
I know back in the day, in the 80s, you know, when I used to come out here living another type of lifestyle, the Bloods was this big, and it's like they so big. It was like it was very small back then. How did they grow so big like that?
Well, and I'm not glorifying this,
Right.
but the greatest thing that happened to Bloods is when Crips started beefing with Crips.
Okay.
That took the pressure off of them.
Right. Okay.
All right. And then the next step of that was the incarceration. When we started getting into racial riots, they didn't say, you a Blood, you from D.C., you from Northern California, whatever. They said you was black.
Right.
So it became a, I got your back, unification.
Right.
So then it became, we're Blood now. In my generation, Bloods, you know, we used to call them undercovers, what have not. And in the county facilities, they'd be like, nah. And even in our state, I used to always tell them, man, you better not put on that red sweatshirt, because we used to be able to wear colors. I was an asshole, you know. But they had become enabled on representing what they represent based on the alliances and the prison relationships they built with certain Crips. So they became a factor upon themselves.
Right. Okay. Is it just me, or every time you been seen or shown, you got Compton on? Like, do you wear anything else? I always see Compton every time you been seen.
This is my signature.
That's your signature.
And then it serves a duality. 98% of Los Angeles Crips don't have a beef with Compton. On a hypothetical, I may be in Rolling 60s hood. Some A-Tray gangster Crips may come through shooting at the Rolling 60s. But if I turn around and I got this on, they're gonna like, oh, cuz ain't from 60s, from Compton. That's gonna stop bullets right there. Because they don't have beef with Compton. Vice versa, if I'm in A-Tray gangster hood and some neighborhoods roll through, or if I'm in Hoover hood and some neighborhoods roll through, and I turn around and they see this Compton, it's like a force shield. Like, oh no, cuz from Compton. So it serves a duality. But the first thing is, I'm proud of my city that has a false stigmatization of being a violent city, a city that doesn't produce anyone. We produce ball players, entertainers, lawyers, city councilmen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Same thing with the district. You know how you had a stigma attached to it, but the district produced greatness. The greatest boxers in the world come out of where?
Right, D.C. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. So a lot of times, like I say, we seen the movies, man. Whether it be, and I'm gonna let you answer this. So it's like 5 or 6 movies. You got Colors, you got Boys in the Hood, you got Men's Society, couple of more joints. So which one you say speaks directly more to the lifestyle of LA or Compton?
Okay. Everybody always associated me or associated Old Dog character with me in my youth.
Okay.
I was Old Dog.
Okay.
10 times.
10 times.
10 times. And so Menace to Society is the truest depiction of a day in the life of a Los Angeles County gang member. You can walk to the store. Somebody could say something. They out of there like last year. I walked to the store and I almost stuttered and I seen, damn, they gonna open that in front of me? And I looked at Tony like, I gotta get them.
Right.
No murder robbery, but it was 30 racks.
Right.
I had to get them. I'm in my 20s. It was a walk to the store. How could I pass it up? It's in my face.
Right.
You know, so anything can happen. As far as how Kane got killed in the end, every gang member in Los Angeles County has that story. Of 1 minute you kicking it, everything's okie dory, and the next minute you got a dead homie on the ground, especially in the 80s.
Right, dang, that's powerful. So when you was young, man, walk us through your juvenile. What's the first charge you caught as a juvenile?
First charge I caught as a juvenile was stabbing the dude. It was a race ride at the high school. I went up there to assist one of my cousins and ended up stabbing the dude. And then they broke it down and gave me a lottery with school children and presents, but I was 15.
Oh yeah, and then what's your first gun charge?
My first gun charge was me and my homeboy Baba. We were going to. I ran up on this guy adversary, and I had a double barrel, and I pulled both barrels, and it didn't go off. He didn't know I was behind him, so I went back and I told my homeboy Westbrook, like, look, man, the joint ain't working, man. What's up, man? He said, you lying? I said, look, and I pulled both barrels to my head. And he was like, oh, it ain't working. He said, why don't you pull the back one first and then the first one? So when I did that, it was cool. So I told my homeboy, Baba, come on, man, we finna go over to this certain cat's house. We're gonna knock on his door. We're gonna start blooding each other. We're gonna tell him his mother, call him by his name. And when he come to the door, you step to the side. I'm just gonna knock him down. Well, en route to that, we had to cross from our section to LA. And LAPD saw us walking, and they jumped out and drew down on me. So I threw the burner down, went to jail, cut my homeboy loose on the spot, say he was somebody I just made walk with me. And I went to juvenile hall. That was my first juvenile hall stint.
You used the term earlier in blood. We gonna blood each other. What term you said you go to the door was?
Oh, we were gonna blood each other like we were his homeboys because his mother knew he was a blood. So me and you at the door and just say hypothetically this is homeboy, right? So I told my homeboy, let's start talking like this. Yeah, blood. When we can get to the party, blood, we gonna have fun, blood. So his mother would have thought we were his homeboys.
Okay.
And then when he came to the door, it was my intent to blow his brains out.
Right. Okay. Okay. Damn. Okay. So man, I want to say I heard somewhere. I know I didn't read your paperwork, but they say, man, you had 6 or 7 charged with 6, 7 murders.
Yeah. Yeah. There's 6 bodies on my jacket.
How many convictions?
2.
As a juvenile adult.
I was tried as an adult, and well, one of them I called later on, but I was tried as an adult, and at 17 I had a youth authority commitment, but they sent me to state prison on the air, and as a result they called Judge Fredericks of Torrance Superior Court and told him, hey man, we got this juvenile here, and he's supposed to be in youth authority, and he said, well, he already there, keep him, and so they kept me in the pen.
And so when you come home, how much time you do the first one?
I came home at the age of 23.
And you went in with how old?
At 17.
17. Okay. How long before you was home that you caught another murder joint?
I ended up catching, well, when I came home initially, I was chronologically in my 20s, but I was mentally still 17. And
man, can you repeat that again? 'Cause that's powerful right there, man.
I was chronologically in my 20s, but mentally I was still 17.
Okay.
And that was an era of where you can make $1,000 a day just taking turns, selling rocks. So the homie Turtle, rest in peace, from Santana Block, blessed my game. And I didn't look back because I've always been a hustler. Yet I was still banged out. I was a gangbanger's gangbanger. You know, I was the first one out of my generation to go to state prison. We were a small gang when I left. When I came back, we were one of the largest in Compton through recruitment and so forth and expansion. But while I was in prison, I was hitting everything on 2 legs. To quote the homeboy Bam from front of him, my G homie, Bam told Melly Mel one day, he said, the only thing I had with Bry Dee when we was in Tracy, which was our gladiator school, akin to Lorton, he said was every time it was a mission, he volunteered.
Yeah. Every time it's time to work, you say, I'm your guy.
Yeah. That was, I'll go.
Right.
My turn.
Right.
You know, so I was into that crap. So when I came home from prison, I was still mentally screwed up. I was desensitized to violence, seeing so many murders and things of that nature, stabbing so many dudes, representing what we represent, that I had a dope spot, had a chick that was down chick, and the guy I told her, I said, hey, them dudes right there, they gonna bust on me, man. She like, don't worry about that, you don't bang like that. I'm like, yes, I do. And the dudes did bust on me. So I subsequently went to their neighborhood and shot one in the throat, one in the side of the neck. And the police were observing the drug traffic on their street high-speed chase, got locked up, bailed out before the parole can catch me. My parole agent ended up coming over my house, and it wasn't cell phones then. It wasn't big bricks, but it wasn't like you have now.
Right, yeah.
And so I drew down on him and locked him in my mother's house with the bars and everything, and he couldn't get out. And I locked her bedroom door with the telephones in them.
Hold on, so they come to pick you up.
Yeah.
You trick him, you whip on him, and lock him into your home house.
Yeah, and my homeboy D-Dog and my homeboy Bone came and picked me up, and we pushed.
Right.
My parole agent locked in the house because she had barred up, you know. Right. And when she came on, because he was a short guy, he had a big old 357 on him. I remember what he said, I can't stop you. And I laughed and I bounced out, locked him in the house.
Right.
My mother came on from work, she was an educator. She convinced the man, like, how's that gonna look to my son, da-da-da. So he gave me a plea and parole agent. Subsequently, I was caught. I had long money. I went to the county jail. They gave me discharge and firearm within city limits, $500 fine. They sent me back to prison. Oh, the good thing was the Bloods, they had a blood module then, and you used to be able to open up a little door, little slot that could open up the Bloods. It opened it, and I was pushing on the 4,000 floor, and I said, hey man, I'm Bry Dee, you know, from Carver Park, man. I'm in here for shooting such and such and such and such. And they told me, oh, Blood, you ain't got to worry about it. The homies ain't coming to court. We're going to kill you when you get on the streets. And true enough, they shot me as soon as I got out. They did shoot me as soon as I got out, not even 2 weeks. But so I subsequently went back to the pen. I got 10 days to the house, and a dude bumped into me and didn't say, excuse me. And so I pushed on him, and I said, hey, man, it don't matter if you're black, white, green, or whatever, man. You say, excuse me. He said, man, when you see bloods pushing, you get out the way. I said, oh, yeah? So I dusted him off, and he gave me a black eye. And the next day, Screwy Louie from the South, you so dirty, Louie. You're like, you got a shiner. I'm 10 days of going home. So I went and worked dude like a rib and picked up 18 more months.
You 10 days from going home, you caught another joint and get 18 more months.
Yeah, because he gave me a black eye.
But the fight was over.
So I whooped him, but he gave me a black eye.
So you got double whooped because you don't supposed to put the mark on you.
Yeah, so you know, so I ended up going to San Quentin. I got out of San Quentin in '87. Me, Neckbone from, it doesn't matter now, Neckbone from Raymond Avenue, Puppet from A-Tray Gangster. We laid the Jamaicans down and we laid the Damus down at that time and blew back up. Then I went back for shooting another dude. Yeah. Did I go back for shooting another dude? No, I went back for 2 murders, damn.
And who your lawyer this time? You got Johnny Crockett on here? Who you got beating all these charges?
At that time, in '88, I stayed in the county, I think 27 months. Damn, I left out, I got shot up. That's how that happened. I got shot 3 times in the stomach, once in the back. Yeah.
How many times you got shot total?
8.
8 times, and how many different parts
I got shot
of
in
it?
'86, I got shot in '87, I got shot in '88, I got shot in '90, and I got shot in '93.
So you got stomach, body joints, you got...
Right now, I got 3 bullets in my stomach, 1 in my back, 1 in my neck.
When it rain, do you get any pain with that? When it rain?
Yeah, my neck.
Your neck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I got titanium in my neck.
Right, okay. Damn. What's the name? So, if you wear the Compton joint everywhere, you say you could be somewhere, you say somebody can see that you Compton, you're in another part of the neighborhood, so they might say, okay, they ain't got nothing to do with it. Do you think in 2022, where you might be in a neighborhood with that on there, with the young dudes running so wild, could they misread it, or they can say, oh, that's an OG, he get a pass on that?
This is what I say. Don't give me no pass. This is what I signed up for.
In 2022?
Don't give me no pass.
So you live and die by that.
If you ask me where I'm from Carver Park. Why? What's happening? I don't bang, homie, but I'm from Carver Park. You ain't gonna diss it in front of me. You ain't gonna do none of that.
Right.
I'm gonna punch you in your mouth.
Okay, well you stand on what you believe in, so I can't be mad at you with that one, man.
If you want, I'm gonna tell them, if they want a gangbang, they on 126, they on 118, they on the ball side, they over there, they got guns, and they waiting on you. Me, myself, I know your homeboys you don't even know. I ain't got nothing against you, black, but I'm from Carver Park.
Right. So that's trained from being so young that you gotta stand where you're from. That's like the ultimate distance.
I ain't no dropout.
Understand? You say you're not who's that term?
I'm not no dropout.
Right. What that terminology mean for?
Dropout mean, you know, like in the feds when you used to have them cats that was on state time, that was so-called the Crips and Bloods, and they say they off count. I say off count, don't count. You a dropout. You're gonna go back to your neighborhood and say you was doing this and doing that and advocated, yet you come to the feds and can't stand up under the pressure. I had to stand up under the pressure when there was only 3 Californians on the whole compound and 6 Crips. I stood up under the pressure.
So you ain't, wherever you at, you gonna ride your flag, you ain't tucking it.
I'm not talking shit. But ask Titus, how Titus from DC told me one day in front of F2, about 12 DCs had me surrounded, and I was talking to Titus about a situation that occurred, and he was like, Bone, because that's what he called me, Bone, let's get out of this circle. And I had told my homeboy Lil D from Texas, rolling 60s on count, I said, D, they probably gonna kill me in this circle, but homie, if they up, I'm gonna start blasting, and you start blasting, and we meet like this. And Titus is like, Bone, are you stupid? Get out of this circle. It's a bunch of hotheads. And he and I in Goody Bay went and talked out the situation, which was a dude from Baltimore was in our car. He was a rolling 60 out of Baltimore. They closed Jessup down for a minute and sent a lot of them cats to the feds. And when he came to our car, everything was good. And then all of a sudden, 2 months later, he said he wanted to go to the DC car. Well, you can't just switch from a Crip car to another car like that. So I was like, nah, you gotta go. And a couple of DC cats was like, well, he's with us in the DMV. And I was like, no, he ain't with you. And then Titus and Goody Bay stepped up, which, you know, they got a lot of rank in the DC car and the joint I was in. And we were extremely cool.
And I'm about to say, you mentioned the name Titus, that's one of our DC legends in the feds, and y'all was able to go on a good relationship like that.
Yeah, when a cat tried to say on social media that I didn't know Titus, I said, okay, Titus. I said, me, you, and Goody Bay sit on that bench on the yard, talking about that boy Buck 80. I said, okay, Titus, when you got short to the house, you threw your thumper in the drain while me and you was standing there just chopping it up, and the pigs came when you was ready to go home. You had to take a 3-year hit on that after 22 years in the joint. I said, knock it off. The dude shot me back, oh man, Titus said you his mans and this, that, and another. Yeah, of course, Titus, you know what kind of kid I was working out of. You know when me and you was right there, Titus. I'm saying, me and you, Titus, we got to go at it over these idiots. You know I was putting you on notice that you finna burn me up and I'm gonna burn you up too. Fuck it. You know, but we too cool to be going at it like this. Yeah, Titus was my man. I fucked with, I like Titus style, man. You know, burpee, he didn't do burpees, he did a lot of bar work. I did the burpees. He did little burpees, but he was bar work cat.
Okay, because you know, because like I say, he definitely one of our DC legends in the face. So people always, they probably figure you call his name like, man, he bluffing, he don't know Titus. So I guess you had the history, you was able to pull that car. So yeah, that's cool. So when you went to the feds, man, how many other DC cats you got close relations with, or decent relations with?
My Titus relation was a dude they called Ghost. His name is Kenyatta Bay. His name is Lawrence Kenyatta Bay, right? He's from Southeast. All right, that's my man's. You know, Kenyatta. Then I got real tight with a brother named Buck, rest in peace. And I told Buck, I didn't jinx him with that. And I said, Buck, man, you got an attitude. You up under the Juvenile Act. You a bully. You be bullying dudes on the basketball court. You can't take that to the streets, man. And ended up killing Buck in the halfway house. Cornbread and Goo. Goo used to be with graffiti. He had his hand in that graffiti clothing wear.
Oh yeah, Goo. I know Goo.
Goo crazy than Buck. That's Goo, my baby, man. That's my baby right there, bro.
Goo good, man.
Yeah, Goo, my baby. Yeah. Goo. Bread, who lives in Miami, he gave his life back. I'm glad, Bread, man. I'm gonna catch up to you. Titus, Goody Bay, Ghetto, big ass Honey Bear. Mike C, crazy than the mug, can shoot basketball. Oh, I didn't tell you I was the coach of the DC basketball team at Terre Haute.
Oh, you was coaching them?
Yeah, I was the coach.
Oh, so you really had a real relationship with the homies.
And I used to tell them, what I can say to you on this court, I can't say to you off this court. But I'm God on this motherfucker. If I tell you, bring your ass out, Mike C. You always getting a fucking attitude. And he was a hitter. You know, the chocolate motherfucker was a go-to. And dark skinned to Smoke, that was my man. Smoke was my man. Smoke I used to have all the porno movies in the library, and I used to, you know, rent them out for an hour for 3 flats. You know, flats.
And they get the Fiend in there. You had the Fiend for me.
Yeah, I had everything. You know, I always been a hustler. So Smoke, I used to like in breaks. Smoke would be hanging out in the library. I'm like, man, go back there and look at some porno movies, man. Make sure you clean yourself up, bro. I used to give him brand new tiles. You know the business. Go back there. You got privacy. You got 32-inch TV. You're in a room locked by yourself. Do you? You know, so yeah, Smoke was my man. I forgot about Smoke. Me and Smoke was real tight. He was a smooth brother from DC. And so, you know, yeah, I had my share of DC dudes that I interacted with, man.
When you was locked up the whole time, did you have any wars with other cars, like with the Crips or LA?
No, my fortunate for others. Oh, wait a minute, I butchered my celly, dang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You got a lot of work you forgot about. You play with them people, man. You build up, man.
No. What happened was, man, I was trying to go to Atlanta. All right. I was hitting this broad in Victorville, and she couldn't keep her mouth shut. Right. So they was getting up on it. So I said, I'm gonna transfer. So my homeboy Don Juan from Santana, he said, you need to come to Atlanta. It's on out here. And I've always been a hustler, man. So I'm like, all right, I'm on my way. So they sent me to Talladega with all these child molesters and pedophiles and gumps and everything else. And I'm like, you know, I don't got nothing against the homosexual community. That's what gump mean. You know, that's what you do in your bedrooms between you and your creators or whatever. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But I just don't like to be around men who get caught up behind that. So anyway, I asked them, can I leave? And they said no. So, watch, you know what I said. I said, yeah, I know how to leave. That's what I told the case manager. I said, I know how to leave. So I got there, I had like 3,000 flats. For people that don't know, flats are stamps, and in the feds, that's what's the commodity, that's the money. You know, that's the currency. 20 stamps, you know, is $5. 20 brand new books at $750. So I had like 3,000 flat books I took with me. And one night I took my books out because I was going to pay a lawyer for some attorney work. That's when the new law came through with the guns and whatnot. So long story short, my cellie was on K2, and he was broke, and he was off count GD out of Alabama.
You say off count GD, what that mean?
GD. He was a GD, but he was representing his state.
Okay.
So he stole $300 worth of stamps from me and tried to tell me perhaps I lost. Tried to tell me perhaps that I lost from gambling or something.
Right.
But you saw me put them in between my 8x twin photos and put it in all my paperwork, right? And they just came up missing. So I said, okay. So me, I'm a devious man. I took some feces, I rubbed it on razors, I put them in plastic and set them up under the bed for 2 days. So he can keloid up. Yes, I'm a devious man when at that stage in my life. So I told my homeboy Demrock, he wanted to stab him. I said, Demrock from Main Street, little Demrock. I said, no, homie, you been gone 22 years, go home, I got this. I told my homeboy Yellow from 509 East Coast, I'm gonna go in the kitchen, I'm gonna bust on my celly, mean stab my celly, I'm gonna stab all the snitches I can stab, and I'm gonna throw the thumper down and put my hands up against the wall. And then I got to thinking about it, and I was looking at something on TV, just glancing at the ignorant box about Rikers Island. I said, you know what? I've never buck 50 no one. And that's when I put the feces on the razors and did what I had to do and made the weapon. And I'm not glorifying it, I'm just telling you it was a barbaric world, it was dog eat dog. So we had a rap concert on the yard. I took the little homie AG with me from Fidus Hoover out of Tennessee. And I hit dude from here to here. And he ended up getting 172 staples in his face. And he told on me. And I did 10 months in the hole. They gave me 4 write-ups with different names on them, different dates. That's how I was able to beat it after 10 months. And then I had a strong support from my chick then and my daughter. They was calling the Department of Justice and Attorney General saying, look at these write-ups, scanning them over and stuff like that. So they ended up dismissing them. But he told on me. Yeah, you little rat, CD.
He told him, he probably representing the
tough guy, 25 years old, 6'5", 18-inch arm, toughy.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. And when you said that we going, I'm gonna push on him, and I'm gonna push on the snitches. You already knew who was holed up in there.
Yeah, the joint was filled up with snitches.
It was filled up with, okay.
And they used to sit in a certain section, so it was in my head. Hit him, then hit as many of them as I can hit, and get up out of there. But instead, when I saw the thing about the buck 50, I said, I've never done that in my life. Let me try it. And that's when I was a very violent man. You know, I reformed, I transformed myself. You know, the violence is still in me, but it's controlled, and it's only in the preservation of my family. You know, so I buck 72, and I stayed in the hole 10 months. I was on walk alone. They would let me because I didn't have no celly. You know, and then after that, I went to Pollock. And when I got to Pollock, they was like, it's another federal joint in Louisiana. They said, no, we don't want you here.
Your name already got there before you got there. The administrators said they want you
here. SIS was like, nah, you're not. Because when I got there, I was there for about 25 days, and I started orchestrating where the Crips was playing the GDs and Vice Lords basketball on Sundays, and I literally got it structured real quick. And they didn't like that.
They always say they don't want to with too much power if they're not working with them to help control the situation.
And I did what I always do. Don't get caught talking SIS on me. And they like, but we don't got to talk to them. I don't believe in talking to the police.
Speaking of that, when year did they come with the shot caller stuff? What year that happened started, when they started creating the shot caller with the administrators?
Well, I hit the feds in 2003, but I fought my case in 2006. That was new stuff to me. To me, the real shot callers are the backdoor politicians. The cat that's like, oh yeah, you got this, go on. Yeah, you run this. Smart man gonna let the guy, you're gonna be the puppeteer. So that was new to me. Like when dudes told me, okay, when I got to one joint, they said, he run the car, he this, he that. And I was like, yeah, but he be talking to them people. And I immediately snatched the keys from him. Lil Soup, 7-4, you know the truth.
Yeah, so that was there.
See, I say names. I dare you to refute it.
Yeah. That's strong. That's strong. So man, when you go on and you saying dudes, man, because when I was home, I used to hear a lot of shot calling, he this and that. And they said they had to, check in with the administrator and let them know what's kind of going on. I didn't understand how they even came about or who structured that. So I guess it was it wasn't no meeting. It was just an action that started taking place.
I can show you an example. It was a SIS lieutenant named Brickwell or Bickwell, something like that, at Terre Haute USP. Anybody that was there when it was regular USP, because it's a dropout spot now. And if any of y'all people out there got people in Terre Haute USP, as we speak right now, turn your back on them. Because they ain't nothing but a child molester, a snitch, a dropout, or a rapist, or can't go nowhere. If you're in USP Terre Haute as we speak today, this moment.
Today.
But back then it was a regular joint. Well, anyway, they had Brickbill, that was his name. He came to our table one day, and by now the Crip car was 12 deep. And he asked could a certain individual come out. So I said, what you asking us for? Who are you?
Right.
And he said, what do you mean, who am I? I said, who are you? He said, I don't understand what you're saying. I said, ain't you the police, man? And what you coming to ask us if somebody can come out? So he said, do you speak for the car? So young Crow, rest in peace, from Texas, rode in the 60s. He said, didn't you hear what he said? So he said to me again, who are you? Are you the shot caller? I said, man, I'm just like everybody else at this table. You the police, we ain't. Don't ask us if anybody can come out. That's who I am. He 25 years old, that's how old Crow was. I said, ask him. Crow said, you heard what he said? Don't ask us, you the police. And then Lil D said, let all the Crips out back there. We don't care. You the police, don't ask us. So I come to find out he went and told the dude, you can go out there. The dude said, nah, I ain't going out there with them. Dude was no good. He was asking about this. So my thing was, when I was in Terre Haute, I was like, homie, there's no talking SIS. If I catch you talking SIS, you getting butchered. They didn't believe me. They know what happened. Sankey, what they had to do, fly you to Indianapolis, since you want to keep talking SIS? Since you didn't know I had GDs in the hallway? Spying on your ass? Every time you run up in Big Real, whatever his name was, office?
So your relations with all the compound, you have relations with DC dudes, GD dudes?
DC, GDs, Vice Lord Stones, L. Rukins, Latin Kings. Remember we had an incident with the Latin Kings. This is when the dudes in Terre Haute saw my true colors. The homie, what was his name? Something, Payday. Payday from Raymond Crip held a door while New York blood named Scar was in there stabbing the Latin King up. Latin King tried to run out the cell. Payday had his foot on the door, which he shouldn't have got involved in that. I didn't even reprimand him for it. So Latin King's about 150 on the yard. Bear in mind, we 12 deep. The homie's like, we coming over there with y'all. I don't need y'all to come over there with me. I got a thumper. I got 2 thumpers. I got 2 ice picks on me. So I walked over there. So a Latin King named D, what's that kid name I didn't like? Tano or something like that. He had the Latin Kings. He had a couple of life sentences. He was out of Wisconsin. I forget his name. Y'all know his name. Tano, Tonto, some crazy shit. So he says to me, all the GDs right there, the Vice Lord Slim, 5-star elite, 3-star elite, Skin, GF, they board members, and one's a governor. They all right there. And the kid says to me, the only reason you Crips is still here is because D like you, to me. So I immediately went for my joints and said, act like he don't like me. Fuck y'all. And the GD's like, no. I'm like, all right. They left it alone. They said our homeboy didn't lose his eye because he got stabbed in the eye. They broke that shit down. Because what I did, I can't remember that dude's name. I didn't even like this little fucker. He was a racist Puerto Rican. But I saw all the fear in his eye when I told him, act like y'all don't like me. They left that shit alone. And he knew I pulled his whole car. I smelled the fear on him.
You sense it.
I sense it, just like they told me when I first got to the feds, if a DC boy ever call you a fuck boy, you better take off on them instantly, because they can smell the fear on you if they can get off calling you a fuck boy. And it's the same way with us Crips. You can smell the fear on you. If you don't get off on us immediately, it's a wrap.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna change gears a little bit, man. I know L.A. We had a thing in D.C. called Love Boat.
Yeah.
We got the PCP, the water come from out here.
Yeah.
Man, where the fuck that water come from? Who started it? Who made it?
Compton.
And somebody was a chemist and just came with that combination.
Compton. It's like this. I don't care if you got some weak water. If you from Compton and you got the water, and it's gonna be 10 dudes from anywhere, they're gonna go to that Compton dude. Because Compton always has the best water. I don't know where it derived from, but the first time I smoked a Sherman stick, because we used to dip the brown sticks called Shermans, it was in '78, but I started smoking dust, which is boat basically, in '76. You know, so I smoked PCP, but I was a functioning, that's why I don't judge no one, I was a functioning smoker. I'd take 2 hits, put it out, because I would never be stuck. I had too many enemies, I had too many adversaries, and I'm hyperactive. So it used to have me like, yeah, what's up, homie? Yeah, I feel good. Marijuana, I couldn't really smoke that, because marijuana made me paranoid. Like, if we was in this room right now and I smoked some marijuana, this is how I start thinking. Man, I remember in the 6th grade, Kurt looked at Christine, I should blow his fucking head off. That motherfucker over there looking at me, I don't give a fuck, he from the set. I should smoke all their asses and say the enemies did it. That's what I say in my mind, off of weed. So it's like, nah, I can't smoke that shit, man. That shit had me nuts. But PCP, both used to have me just smooth.
Right. And you was able to be still mentally strong to say, man, the 2 puffs, I'm putting that joint out.
Yeah, because I used to have to test it.
Right. Because I know back then, and I hate to think about these times, we get the water, you get somebody's Sherman, that's how we tested with the Sherman joint. Yeah. Man, they go out. I mean, like they couldn't smoke no whole Sherman. Man, back then, now they smoking whole Sherman. I said,
I don't understand that neither.
They must be cutting the water hard.
Yeah, they cutting it hard. It was 2 hit or quitter when you know,
right.
I'd take me a good pull, blow my nose, close my mouth, blow that joint out, wait about 3 minutes. Like, oh yeah, okay, I can handle this. Right. Take me one more hit, then I'll put that joint out. Because I could never lose my composure in the streets because I have a distinctive walk. And so dudes could spot me a mile off the way I walk. I walk slew-footed. And what that means is my leg kicks out when I walk. It's not for no gangster shit or nothing. That's just how I've been walking since I was a baby.
And that's funny you said it, because I always remember the little scene when the boy who shot Kane in the Mississippi, he had a little slew fools on how he went back to the car. That always stayed in my mind, and I related that. I thought that was a LA thing or
well, it is us gang members. We stand like this, but mine was natural as a child. Even my son, my youngest boy Malik, he walks slew-footed. You know, and it's nothing to do with gangs. It's just he inherited that from me. I remember when he was a baby, I was like, damn, he walked just like me. Out of all my sons, he the only one walking just like me.
Right, damn. So how many kids you got?
I got 7. I got 7 biologicals. Well, I got 9 kids. I got 7 biologicals, but 2 I've raised and potty trained since they was babies.
Did any of them follow gang life?
My son Darnell, he got killed in 2013. He was a little Bry from my neighborhood. That was only one.
Okay. I know you got extensive background with gang and violence and stuff like that. Was you ever known to get any money for off in the streets with hustling?
I was a multi-level cocaine kilo buying motherfucker. State hopping.
Right.
Yeah. My thing was, I didn't care about money. What I mean by that is I always kept a house in the suburbs for my children's mothers. I always kept them in whips. Always kept them fresh. I was the type of dude that I might push up on you balling, right? I was pressing dudes. I'd have a list. And you would say, why my name on it? And I used to walk up to dudes just like this, Cameron. Oh shit. My pockets out. The dudes that was having money. I'd walk up on them in private and say, man, I'm broke. And they're like, what that mean? I'm like, I'm broke, homie. And then I'd show them the list. And they said, why my name on there? I said, I don't know, I need to get it off there. But I'm broke. And then they'd look at me crazy, they knew my reputation, they'd bless my game, and then I'd go like, just tell me who you don't like, homie. I'm gone, thanks.
Right. So when they come at you later on down the line, and they point out somebody, you're
you know, they might get a Christmas gift.
Right, okay.
You know?
All right, okay.
And another thing I used to do for capital, this is why I never understood homies that are in criminal structures. You go rob this dude for $200 or $20 or whatever in his wallet, or you can run up in this jewelry store, this bank, this check cash spot, this casino, get a couple $100,000, get the same amount of time.
Right.
You probably get more money for robbing that hard-working man. Then he's gonna resist if he got bills. A lot of them will. So I was never into people robberies. So my thing used to be when I came home from prison, I'd immediately hit a check cashing, a credit union, a bank, a jewelry store, a supermarket, or a casino. Then I'd go buy a gang of work. And then I'd take a young homie and be like, here, man, take this to such and such, you're gonna get this off of it, break me off this. So I'd do 3 or 4 young homies like that, and it'd be in privacy. So the influx of money was coming in. Then my boy KT gave me the game. He said, if you can pick up money from 10 people every day, you win it. So I started using that philosophy, picking up money from 10 people every day. Then my other boy gave me another gig. He said, man, bang a spot out with every kind of narcotic for 60 days. Then start charging dudes on 2 shifts $100 a day to work the narcotic out of that spot. You never sell them nothing, but they got the spot that's already banging and charge them $100 a day. So I started using those type of games. So I always had an influx of money coming in. Plus I was a jacker. And the elitist jackers in Los Angeles County would come to me like, we got a lick, you want to go? I'm like, yeah, I'm with it.
You know, so the other jackers, they're a network, if the lick big enough, they're a network like that.
Yeah, we network, you know, like, okay, dang, I wish I would have brought my paperwork. I got paperwork where you got 40 people laid down in the bank face down, where you got the cow, the cash on wheel being emptied, where you got everything, where you got me with the manager, you know, that was my stick. You know, that's what I did. My 3rd superseding indictment, I got out September 1st, September 5th, I hit for 53 racks. You know, that was small change, but it was cool for a dude just getting fresh out the joint. I screwed up and told my co-defendant, Anthony Alexis King, AWOL from Atlantic Drive, you rat bastard. And 2 years into our case, he told on him, and that was my 3rd superseding indictment. You know, but that's what I used to do. I had a philosophy, hit a lick before you have sex, because if you go back, you ain't missed having the sex because you never had it. See, a dude that chase money, he gonna have broads. A dude that chase broads ain't gonna have no money.
Repeat that again. We like to get jewels when we out. That's the name of the show, Changing Jewels.
A dude that chase money gonna have broads. A dude that chase broads ain't gonna have no money.
That's law. That's definitely law.
So when I got out, it was like I'm jumping over a counter. When I got out, it was on notice, all the jackers, I'm out, man, who got one? That's what we say, who got one? And the cats would push up to me, I got one, dog, you want to come? I'm like, yeah, what's the take? And they'd be like, man, well, you can walk away with probably about 25 cents, which is 25,000. I'm like, all right, for a minute's work. Okay, it's cool. I walk away with 25 cents. You know, I passed. Now I'm cool. The blessed baby mamas. I remember my mother told me, she said, you always come home from prison, because I came home from prison like 4 or 5 times. You immediately take care of these women that got your kids. And she said, why don't you take care of yourself for once first? I couldn't grasp my brain around that at that time. I did it this time. You know, took care of myself first. But it was always, no, I mean, you gotta take care of your kids, you gotta take care of your kids, you gotta take care of your kids. And my thing with my children's mothers was, if you don't have a dude living with you, I don't care if you fucking, you can be a hoe on the host row, I don't care about that. But if it's not a dude spending the night at that house, you live the same way you lived when you was mine. Cars, money, clothing, appropriate place, and so forth. And that's what I always did. You know.
And I know when you speak a lot with controlling your emotion and your feeling. Is that something that you inherited, or your father, someone put that in you? Where did that come about from?
Well, my father is, you know, a black nationalist. And when I was a kid, my father gave me a thumper and told me if a certain people came over our house to protect my sisters and get rid of your emotions, blow that man away. And he told me what a dum-dum was. At that time, dum-dums went into 38s. They were bullets that were flat heads that split for. And he broke it down to me. You ain't no mama's boy. You don't do none of that crying, you don't do none of that. You know, I'm a Berkeley, that's what we got a saying in Compton in our family. People will say, are you a Berkeley? I'm a Berkeley. And so, and then by embracing the streets at such an early age, I saw there wasn't no room for emotion in the streets. You know, I don't have no older brothers. And I'm from one of the roughest neighborhoods it is. I had to carve my way to the top. And I couldn't carve my way to the top being a weenie.
You had a situation when the opposition had somebody over there that you really liked, whether it been from sports or you used to live around your way, a cousin, but it had to go down?
Have I had situations like that? Okay, I'll show you a situation. In 1979, my own boy Walt said, I'm gonna kill the first Pyro to come to the bathroom. I'm from a very big family. My grandmother died in 1978. She left behind 63 grandchildren and 15 great-grandchildren. 3 of my brothers and sisters weren't even born yet. So this is how big my family is, right? So, and that's just on my father's side. So anyway, my homeboy Wally said, I'm gonna kill the first Pyro to come to the bathroom today at school. I'm like, all right, well, I ain't going to school today. I got some shit to do, man. He said, well, you got these 25 shells. I'm like, yeah, give me shells. So I come home, my father and my grandfather's house, trying to roll me up. I'm like, what the fuck? Hey, whoa. My father's a big old man, you know,
Right.
and athlete. You know, he's in his 30s then, right? So, you know, he's trying to tip the youngster up. I'm about 5'6", 115 pounds.
Right, yeah.
But I'm already a shooter and known in the streets. So I'm like, what's up? He said, your homeboy shot your cousin in the head today at school. And you know who did it. I'm like, man, I didn't go to school, and who was my cousin? So I had to ask my sister. She said, and she told me who he was. Then another time, one of my cousins pushed up on me. We got our birthdays on the same day. He bust on me. I got cousins that are Pyrus and cousins of the Crips. Another time I jumped out in the park in heart of Pyru Hood, and I walked up on the dude and I'm looking at him. I'm like, damn, I know this dude. And I'm a shooter. I go back to the car and my two homies was like, why you didn't bust on him? I'm like, man, that's my cousin. I ain't seen him since we were 7, but I know that's him. And he was my cousin.
Right.
So yeah, I've run across.
Right. You had some situations like that. Now, I know that back in the day, a couple of California buddies I had, they used to actually say, they used to serve a lot of celebrities out here, like coming on the block like it was a nothing. It was like, you ever encounter any of that?
Okay, they gonna be mad. James Caan just died. Who played
Actor
Sonny.
James Caan.
Who played Sonny.
And the Godfather.
Brother Ronnie Caan. You know, I used to be in the 82 regroup. That was yours. James, you know, you used to have the slant nose Porsche. Used to buy drugs from me. Melissa Gilbert, you know, used to buy drugs from my spot in Hollywood. Rob Lowe, Justine Bateman, you came to my spots in Hollywood.
Rob Lowe was a motherfucking sex symbol one time with the girls.
So I just go to show you. Gabrielle, porno star. You know, I used to have y'all in Compton, and then you get tossed by the homies. Just come to my dope spot. Luther, rest in peace. I used to have him in my spot singing, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. Well, I was a cruel young man throwing rocks on the ground. I got the fofo in my hand and say, don't pick them up till you give me a concert, homie.
That laugh, man. But that's the type of shit when you're young, you do all that
Do
shit.
stupid stuff.
Do stupid stuff like that, yeah.
Brooke, you had inheritance. You know, I turned your house on Formosa into my dope spot where all the celebrities came to off the Sunset. Sonny, you know I lived on Sunset and Doheny up in them apartments right there, living in the Sunset Strip, and had all the celebrities come up there. Ed Townsend, you was my main man. I love you. You wrote a lot of songs for Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm saying? And hey, you used to get your work from me. Savage, Muhammad, the owner of the Beverly Sunset Hotel, used to get your work from me. Chris Demas of Chris Demas Casting Productions, used to get your work from me. So yeah, I served all of them.
Man, you had a who's list right there. Yeah. Was you able to work on them perks? You was able to work some of them? Like get like when they like his new owners of the hotel, the Sunset joint.
The only thing they used to say to me, the celebrities, was, we just want consistency and we want 24 hours. That's when pagers was out. Right. So I used to sleep with my pager on vibrator in my sock.
Right, yeah.
And whatever they wanted, I took them. And when it came time to getting my money, there wasn't no hesitation.
Right.
They broke bread instantly, quickly. Right. Because I was a young wild gangbanger with a jerry curl and a big old gun out in Hollywood.
Right. And one thing stood out to me that a lot of California guys, especially was banging. I know they took on the bulkiness, with lifting weights and all. You didn't never get into lifting.
I'm a burpee fanatic.
Okay.
All right. I tried the weight thing when I was 18, and I did it when I was 19, and I didn't see no improvement.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, man, what I gotta pick up this for? Man, I jog. I run miles, I do burpees, and I got something this long. The hell I need to get big for? I can't. It ain't happening. I went to the penitentiary, I was 5'7", 120 pounds. I came home 6'1", 140 pounds. Wasn't no getting no big. I remember when I hit the corner on the block, my homeboy Westbrook walked up to me, like, dog. He was yelling at. I was walking up the street, and there was a gang of homies on our dead end. I didn't new homies. And he walked up to me and said, damn, cuz, you still the same size. Because he had got out on swole. He went to our youth authority, got out big as I don't know what, right? And I was like, yeah, cuz, I'm the same size, cuz. He said, let me introduce you to the homies. And he introduced me to the new guys and shit.
Right, yeah. So you was in a long time, man. How much jail time you actually did all together?
You know,
juvenile on up?
I'm not proud to say. Roughly 35 years of my life, man, on a senseless legacy and wasted in prison.
So you did over half. You did over
More
50%, more than half. You were, yeah. Dang, it's half would be 70 years. So you done did shit. You done did probably 65% or something, 70% of your time.
58.
Like yeah, that's crazy.
I did 6, that's 12. Add that to 18, that's 32. 3, that's 35. About 36 years, 37 years behind the walls. And I never went to lower levels. I always stayed in maximum security joints. They used to have a joke in Victorville, when I was in Victorville, the counselor used to say, Mr. Berkeley, the only time you'll see a low is when you get out of prison and drive past one.
Exactly when they allow you to go on a low camp.
No, because of the violence.
Right. Right. And what type of education? You get any education in there, any degrees?
Yeah, I got a degree in social behavior science. I have another degree in American studies, another degree in humanities, and I have a degree in business. And I have certifications in like 4 different areas. I'm able to teach Surf Safe. I'm certified to go in any restaurant in the managerial position. And I have over 50 ACE courses that I didn't purchase that I actually took, certificates. And I'm able to teach anger management classes, communication classes, geography classes. And I can just go on and on and on and on and on.
Right.
And my mind is a mind that retains a lot of knowledge, because I'm a knowledge freak. I love reading.
Right. You seek the education. So what's the name? So you got 50 certificates, and none of them was paid for. You took 50 different courses in that joint.
Yeah.
Completed them joints.
Complete. And anybody know me in Victorville, USP, I used to be sitting in the library looking at these DVDs, these collegiate DVDs, because the professor sent them over. And we look at the DVDs. It wasn't one of those buy you a degree kind of thing. I used to be sitting up with my knife up under this book. I'm left-handed and right-handed. I'm ambidextrous. And I'll be writing right here and looking at the DVD, but I had a thumper in this hand. And anybody come to the library, I'd be like that, because Victorville was very dangerous. You know, Crip could do something in one building, and the first Crip that they see straggling, they can get him. You know, they did it to the homie Blue Devil, unfortunately. He walked fucked up now. He was sitting up with his headphones watching TV, and something got done to a cat in another building, and the cat made it out the building and shot in the building and blasted him up. So Victorville was dangerous.
No, he never knew it was coming.
Didn't even see it coming. So I used to be in there taking my collegiate courses, and I never got under a B. Well, one thing, in my chick used to clown me. I got a C in anthropology. I don't know how the fuck anthropology was hard for me. But I tapped out at 180 calculus on the math.
Yeah. And but when you was young coming up, you was going school to school, getting all the trouble, but you still, the education part was still something that you...
Well, I grew up in a household read. And the thing with me was, okay, when I was 17, I had an academic scholarship to any college that I could have, passed the entry exam to. It was called Hands Across Watts. It was an organization. They gave me told me you can go to any college in the United States that you can get enrolled into, and we'll pay your full ride. Then at the same time, I was already going into the service, because when I was coming up banging, at 18, you could say I don't bang no more, and dudes would respect that. That's how our structure was then. And it was my intent, because my oldest daughter mother, she wanted to become a lawyer. I wanted to become a neurologist or pathologist, which is a coroner. I either wanted to see why you died or see why you lived. And so I was going to go to the service and get a free ride, but instead I picked up a body and went to the pen.
And what's the name? Was you on the streets under the Rodney King riots?
Yeah, I got out. I just got out of New Folsom when the Rodney King riots jumped off, and it was a beast, boy. Yeah, I did my thing in that joint.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, statute of limitations up. Boy, I shot at the police so damn much, it was pathetic, man. Woo! Boy, it was a ball. I was on the nightly news on the regular, Jack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Randy, you did that. Was you remember when I used to give you the pistol, you be in that wheelchair like pass my thumper to go to the police?
Oh, you had him in wheelchair, so they wouldn't rush and check him first.
No, it was a she. Yeah, she did that.
Oh yeah.
Then I dumped their asses out. And boy, I dumped them out one night in the hood. So tough. Boy, I was having a ball, boy. That was my thing, shooting at their asses.
Right, that Rodney King joint. Yeah. Everybody in LA, it seemed like everybody loved the Lakers. Is that universal?
Yeah,
and the Raiders.
Nah, I don't like the Traders.
Okay, since they left.
I never did like them.
Oh yeah.
Even when Ken Pluckett paid for them. And Ken Stabler and all them played for nah. I've always been a Dallas Cowboys fan. Because
Cowboy fan, every motherfucker.
I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna show you how this happened. I'm gonna show you how this happened. See, it's a difference in my situation. In 1974, James the Hammer Harris was a black quarterback. He was only 2 in the league. You had Gilliam played for Pittsburgh. He was a dope fiend. Ruined his career. You had the Hammer. He led the Rams to the second round of the playoffs. They pulled him out. They put in a rookie quarterback who had never played a game, and they lost. It came out in the front office that they said we will not have a black man leading us to the Super Bowl. They were a racist organization then.
Dang, the Raiders?
So the Rams.
Okay,
so my
Rams,
father
okay.
came over to my mother's house because I was living with my, you know, and he said, boy, pick another team. So my father used to always wear fezzes. So I seen Tom Landry was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and he always wore his little derby, but he never smiled. And I said, he reminded me of my father, even though he a white man, because my father never smiled. So I said, I like that team. So I became a Dallas Cowboy fan in 1974. Not as an America's team, but as Tom Landry reminded me of the similarities of my father, always with a fez and never smiled.
Right.
And I've been rocking with him ever since. And then fortunately for me, when I come home from the joint, you know, in LA now, LA County gangs wear different colors. And starter jackets, but Carver Parks wear Cowboys.
Okay.
So that blended right in with me, you know. You know, all my favorite glory wearing Cowboys.
And back then, I know that Lakers mob with Cooper and what's my man, Orlando Woodward, you know what they say?
I doctored my shot after Jamal Wilkes. I shoot like this. The boy Grease from a 5'7", you know, he's working with Tracy Morgan and them right now. Shout out to Grease, man. My man did a gang of years in the feds. He said, dog got that ugly ass Jamal Wilkes shot. My shot is like this.
Right.
And it go in. I doctored my shot after Jamal Wilkes.
And before we getting to the end, but how the hell you end up coaching the DC team? That's still, how you get that job?
Well, the DCs needed a coach, right? And it wasn't nobody who really had them skills.
Right.
So Kenyatta Bay said, man, you want to coach our team? And I'm like, who? You're like, DC team. I'm like, all you crazy ass dudes? He said, man, you the only one ain't gonna be intimidated by us. He said, none of the homies want to do it because they keep getting into it with the homies. And I said, all right, man. And I jumped into it head first, you know, and I'm like, man, look, we're gonna go to the championship. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it. And plus, I ball. And I have enough people skills where I'm not intimidated by people.
Right.
And the intimidation tried to get there. I nipped that crap in the bud right there. Like, man, y'all got y'all joints on the court. I got my joint right here.
Right.
You know, I ain't scared of you. Now, you know, I'm the coach.
Right.
And I became the coach. We developed a superior relationship. Is that we didn't make it. You know, the GDs always pay people and recruit them and get the best on the yard because they got all the money and stuff. But the DC cats had raw skills. The best person on our team, 2 people, was Marcelli Kenyatta Bay, but Mike C. Hell, that dude should have been a pro.
Oh yeah.
Young brother named Mike C. out of DC. He should have been a pro, man.
Damn. What do you remember the C stand for? Your last name?
Nah, they just called him Mike C. But he was. I still got the roster in my stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But Mike C. was a beast, man. He played the mess out of that ball, man.
Right. And man, and one of your degrees was in, you say psychology or
social and behavior science.
Social behavior science. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the name? So now, man, you come up, man, and you saying how the game structure's running now. Like, what's the glaring difference between back then and now?
Okay. First off, Crips didn't wear red.
Under no circumstances.
Under no circumstances. Secondly, Crips didn't rock with Bloods to go against other Crip sets. Thirdly, you grew up in that environment. Now you'll have a dude that say, I'm from Compton, and he'll be from deep Los Angeles. Some youngster met in juvenile hall, and he'll bring him over there and put him on, jump him in the gang. He has no family ties there, no family structure. He has no loyalty. So it's completely changed. And then once upon a time, the gang structure in Los Angeles County influenced the rappers. Now the rappers influence the gangs. So it is, you have a cat who's never banged a day in his life, but instead of borrowing from your lifestyle, he act like he lived it. So it's not watered down because dudes are still getting killed at a horrific level, but it's no respect for parents, children, females. So, you know, it's a totally different ball game. The only reason I'm able to navigate, because not only does my reputation precede me, but I'm from a large family and I'm from a structured environment. You know, and I know a lot of cats. So it's a totally different thing than they have tattoos. We had tattoos that signify gang membership. Now they might have Daffy Duck tattooed on their face.
Right.
You know, you're like, what the fuck is that? You know,
Right.
you know. So it's a totally different ball game, man. And then they advocate everything on social media.
Okay. What's the name? The NWA band. Any all of them guys from active gang members or?
Easy was from Kelly Park in Hood. Ren was from in Hood. Ice Cube lived in 111 neighborhood in Los Angeles. And Yella, he just grew up in the Crip neighborhood. And Dre, out of Compton.
Okay. All right. Bry Dee, what you tell a young Bry Dee right now that's 16 years old and you already at 58? What you tell them today?
I'd ask him one question. Well, actually, I'd tell him three things. The first question I'd ask him is your end game or dead end game? All right, that's the first thing I'd ask him. The second thing I'd ask him, tell me one successful drug dealer, gangbanger, or jacker. You can't. And the final thing I tell him is, you do realize the streets are undefeated.
Undefeated.
You can't win.
Right. That's law right there, man. What social media handles you got? What you working on, or what you want to kick out? What you working on? And
soon to come, we have a radio show. Myself, Melly Mel, the Hood Postman, who's my business partner, Rini Local, as Ain't That a Bitch News. We got a show called Caffeine Team. That's the pilot is already shot out, but currently I have what's called the Urban Realness, hosted by OG Bry Dee. Urban Realness. I'm building my channel up, to subscribers. And Monday through Friday, I do 3 different little snippet shows. One of them is called Monday Mischief, Tuesday Truths, Wednesday Raps, WRAPS. I'm getting on the rappers as fakers. And then I have Thursday Tantrums and Friday Facts, where I just go down the list from Monday through Thursday, and these are the facts of the matter, and can't nobody refute them or dispute them, as I often say.
And the facts will be based on what current events, or
the facts are okay. Like, I'll just give you a synopsis real quick, because I know time is money and money is time. On Monday Mischiefs, I did a show, this Monday Mischiefs actually, I got on WAC 100. Okay. Right. And it was mischievous of me to say the things that I said, but that's Monday Mischiefs. Okay, last week I don't know if you're familiar with a dude named Crip, but I did Tuesday Truths because they had some false allegations about it. I did Wednesday Raps. Wednesday Raps was Drake, Meek Mills, you went to jail for busting a Willie. Drake, you've never been incarcerated. Aubrey, whatever the hell your name is. How you gonna make a song about Rico and you never been locked up? Right. Rick Ross, yeah, you know Noriega when you booked him into that facility. And you probably saw Larry Hoover when you went to the Tour ADX. Quit faking, And then I hit Lil Wayne. What? You signed to the label at 11. I put pictures up with your hot boys where you got blue bandanas on. Now you're blood. So that was how Wendy Raps went. And I'd like, baby, I ain't taking your street cred. But goddamn, bro, you wake up at 41, say you a blood, and you say you're a 5-star. There's no such thing on the West Coast. You let Mac 10 put you down, who's a rat. When Dale Dog and them from Rest in Peace from Main Street took his Rolex, he had a low jack in it and called the Law Dogs on him. And that's who put y'all down as bloods. Y'all don't even got a neighborhood y'all claim. So that's how Wednesday Raps went. Then Chris Brown, Soulja Boy, how you claiming Fruit Town, Pyru, and Compton? Y'all ain't never lived Compton day in y'all life. So Wednesday Raps is what I do, is I just take rappers that's advocating this madness to the youth while they live in suburbs, and then they got the youth trying to live this lifestyle that they don't even live, and now these youth is living the rest of their lives in a cemetery or a concrete hoe house. So I'm tearing their asses up. Stop it. What school did you go to? Where'd you live at? What trap house was you in? Then Thursday Tantrums is these cats that's throwing tantrums on these social media platforms and throwing tantrums on these fake-ass reality shows, which the only thing that's real about them is the fakeness. And security guards are there. So that's Thursday Tantrums, because I'm clowning your stupid ass. Because a real person is going to do something to you, you're going to move in silence. And Friday Facts is I just go through Monday through Friday. So it's Monday Mischief, Tuesday Truths, Wednesday Raps, Thursday Tantrums, Friday Facts. I'm putting that on my YouTube channel, which is, OG Bry Dee, host of Urban Realness. Every day you'll see it.
Y'all seen OG Bry Dee, man, right here on the Changing Jewels. We out here in Los Angeles, California. We was in Compton yesterday, and this is his story, man. And if you don't take nothing from him, man, he showed you that he can change. The man had multiple murder charges. He went to jail, incarcerated, got multiple degrees. He turned in multiple charges and multiple degrees. He got multiple businesses right now. And right now he's just trying to do his thing, man. Those 3 things he told y'all about the streets and being a gang member, man, take that with y'all, keep it in your hip pocket. Till next time of Changing Jewels, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to Curtbone TV. And also shout out to Melly Mel. I did his show yesterday. Name of his show is
The Hood Postman.
Hood Postman. Y'all can find him on
YouTube.
YouTube.
And all the social media platforms.
That's right. So y'all be good. Until then, subscribe to Curtbone TV. Peace.
Out the park, niggas know me. Curtbone, little homie. All days, yeah. Been a road, yeah.
Thank you for watching Changing Jewels on Curtbone TV. If you like the jewels that we is dropping, subscribe, hit the notification, and share with some friends. And I'll see you on the next episode of Changing Jewels, Curtbone TV.